Welcome to the Hannahcast. Oh God. Is the stream working right? I hope it is. I hope to God it is. Well, let's just take a look at the screen, right? Oh, no, not skipped frames. Please don't let there be skipped frames. Let's see how it's working, everyone. Oh boy, yeah, looks like right now it's working. Anyway, guys. Welcome to the Hannahcast. You might have noticed that I've shaved. It's not gonna be like this forever. I just wanted to shave it so it could grow back in evenly, which it's not. So yeah, but again, don't get used. I don't like having my face all weird like this. It makes me look fatter. But yeah, I downscaled this to 720p and the frame rate to 24 frames per second. Let's see if this works. Man, I paid for Xfinity Blast Internet. It really should have been working correctly. But anyway, guys, yeah, this is the Hannahcast where we talk about movie shit, like movie stuff. Yeah, all that cool stuff. And before we get to the news topics and whatnot, I don't have first of all, I don't have a guest with me today. I don't have a guest. But however, I do want to let you guys know of a few things. For one, if you're watching this video and you're not subscribed and you haven't hit that if you haven't hit that well, first of all, if you haven't subscribed, what are you doing? Hit that subscribe button. Because we need more people on this channel and whatnot. Yeah, hit that subscribe button. Make sure that subscribe button is gray. Also, give this video a like, especially since the previous one had 4 likes or something like that, and I had to get rid of that stream because it wasn't working right. I mean, this one isn't working all that great either. But yeah, give this video a like and whatnot. And also, if you're subscribed, hit that bell icon. Hit that bell icon so you can be notified for all my future videos, live streams, and fuck-ups. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Also, plus, if you see right here, we want to try to get to 1,000 subscribers, because once we get to 1,000 subscribers, then I can start taking super chats, and once we get to the super chat thing, then you can start using Google Play revenue to send me super chats. And one way to do that is by going onto this one app called Google Rewards, where basically you take brief surveys and whatnot, and they'll give you Google Play rewards, Google Play revenue and whatnot. And you can use those for super chats but only if I get to 1,000 subscribers. So we need to get that subscriber base to 1,000 if we want me to be able to take super chats, and we can help support the channel and whatnot. Also, if you want to support the channel already, then why not going over to my Patreon account? It's patreon.com/ChristianTylerHannah. There we have 2 membership levels. We have a $2 membership level, which gets your name in my videos, and the $5 per month tier, which gets you your name in my videos, plus the Hannahcast audio-only version and the Hannahcast after show, or basically in the after show, I talk about anything I really want to with the guest. And we're also going to have more perks included in there, like, for example, audio commentaries of movies, where we kind of make fun of movies and whatnot. And anything else that you guys want us to try to do on there, as long as it's nothing nasty. Don't be nasty about it. Also, if you want to support us, go on to Stream Elements. StreamElements.com/ChristiansReviews/tip, where you can send in $2 and you can send in a $2 tip, or hell, you can send however much you want and stuff. But yeah, that's another option. StreamElements.com/ChristiansReviews/tip. And also, Don't forget to check out my Letterboxd account, which is letterboxd.com/ChristianHannah, where basically you can check out my movie ratings, my top 10 list, movies that I've watched. And I'm going to be making a lot of these top 10 lists into videos here in a bit. Yeah. And it's a really cool way to check up on what movies I'm watching and whatnot. Even if I can't review them in video form or some stuff like that, I don't know. But yeah, guys, just want to let you guys know that that stuff is available to check out. Yeah, on to our first topic. Now, if you guys don't know, I'm actually a pretty big fan of the movie. I'm not a big fan, but I do really enjoy the movie Percy Jackson and the Olympians: The Lightning Thief. I know a lot of people didn't, especially those who especially those who read the books. I have not seen Sea of Monsters. I haven't seen that, but I remember watching Percy Jackson and the Olympians: The Lightning Thief, and I thought it was a really cool kind of mythological film, taking the Greek gods and putting them in our world, or Greek myths and putting them in our world. And it was a really, really cool movie. It had some really cool concepts. Again, I don't care if it's accurate to the books or not. I just care about if the movie was any good. And this movie I thought was a lot of fun. Haven't seen Sea of Monsters though, so there's that. Ugh. But it is a shame that eventually, they just did not make any more movies. So, yeah. But, however, considering that it was a movie done by 20th Century Fox, and now Disney owns 20th Century Fox, Disney Plus is right now developing a live-action Percy Jackson and the Olympians TV series for Disney Plus. Now, I can only assume this is going to be a reboot. This is not going to be in the same universe as the movies. But I really like this idea, because, I do want to try to see this franchise continue on. There's some really cool concepts in here. And with the budgets that Disney Plus provides, if you saw The Mandalorian, Disney Plus is not afraid to go big with their budgets. They have some damn good effects. And if you're going to try to do Percy Jackson and the Olympians, then you're going to have to need some big budgets to pull that off, or at least pull it off well. Yeah, I really do like this idea. Granted, we don't know who's doing the show, we don't know who's going to be in the show. Again, who knows? But right now, based on what we have right here, just the news that Percy Jackson is going to be a Disney Plus TV series, I'm already excited for that. What do you guys think of this? Do you like Percy Jackson and the Olympians? Do you like that first movie? Have you seen the second movie? I mean, I haven't seen the second movie, so yeah, there's that. But yeah, guys, let me know in the chat and let me know your thoughts. Another bit of news is that Scarface. Scarface is a classic amongst people. It's an 80s classic. I think it was 80s or either late 80s or early 90s. Well, I know it was definitely my dad's favorite movie. My dad's favorite movie of all time was Scarface. And apparently, they're going to be doing a remake of Scarface. Now, before anyone complains about, why are you remaking Scarface? That's a classic that should never be touched. Do keep in mind that this was not the original Scarface. The Al Pacino Scarface was indeed a remake, because there was one in, the 30s, I think, that came up beforehand. So, no, you don't get to complain that, that Scarface is being remade, the Al Pacino Scarface, because it's already because this one's already a remake. So, So, there's that. But apparently we got some more news that, who's going to be directing the Scarface remake. And it's Luca Guadagnino. If you don't know who Luca Guadagnino is, he is the director of movies like Call Me By Your Name and Suspiria. I just put Scarface below him, so he's directing Scarface. The new Scarface. He didn't have anything to do with the original, I think. But he directed Call Me by Your Name and Suspiria. And Call Me by Your Name, it was nominated for Best Picture at the Academy Awards. It got great reviews. Everyone loved it. And again, and Suspiria is like one of those movies that it's like, whoa, this is a really freaky horror movie. It's just so strange. Uh, I really want to see what this is going to be about. Like from what I've heard, this is not going to take place in Florida or Miami. This is going to take place in Los Angeles, which I think is going to be really interesting. I'm wondering if they're going to do. I'm wondering if they're going to tackle heroin in this, because heroin's a bit more of a topical thing right now, in terms of drugs. Well, in terms of dangerous drugs, like heroin, that could yeah, but yeah, guys, I'm really interested on your thoughts on this. If you've seen these movies, I think it's a really cool idea to bring in Luca Guadagnino, because again, he's just doing a lot of really different things. Like Call Me by Your Name is not the same kind of movie as Suspiria was, and I'm pretty sure neither of those two movies are going to be anything like Scarface. This is a really interesting choice, and seeing as how I think this might actually be Luca Guadagnino's second remake, because Suspiria was also a remake, which is always interesting to see. So yeah, guys, let me know in the chat, let me know in the chat, and let me know your thoughts. All right, guys, let's talk about New Mutants. New Mutants. This is a movie. This is a movie that has just been through hell. This New Mutants movie has just been through hell. That trailer came out. Everyone loved it. Everyone thought it was a great trailer. However, it kept getting pushed back, like the release date, to an almost hilarious degree, because this movie's had 5 release dates at this point. First, it was going to come out on April 13th of 2018. Then, it was going to come out in February 22nd in 2019. Then, it got pushed to August 1st, 2019. Then, April 3rd, 2020. And now, because of the COVID-19 epidemic, it's now been pushed to August 28th of 2020. August 28th of this year. Man, I feel so bad for the people working on this. I really do. Because it looks like it could be really cool. But man, 5 release dates. These actors, some of these actors are like much older than they were when they filmed this movie. It's just insane. It's insane. And and considering this is also a Fox movie, Disney has to be thinking this. Disney has to be thinking. I know some people were thinking why not just release it on Hulu? I mean, if it saying it's not that good. But again, it's claiming that but here, well, I actually don't know how to describe it. It's like a lot of people are saying, yeah, just release it on Hulu. Here's the thing. Disney seems very intent on keeping this movie in theaters. They seem really intent on keeping New Mutants in theaters, which means they must know something about this movie they do know something about this movie that we don't. But there must be something in this movie that makes it worth putting in theaters. If they're willing to have this thing be pushed off to a 5th release date. That's just I hope it's something great. I hope it is. I mean, I hope every movie's great, but it's they must know that something's. They must know, they must really think this movie's worth seeing. They must really think that. And again, I hope it is. I really enjoyed that first trailer for New Mutants. It looked so different from any other comic book movie. This one looked like a straight up horror movie. And especially with seeing some of the promotional images for this movie, this one, you know, this one image where it looked like there was like a demon bear or something. It looked so weird, and it's like on the big screen, this could, or at least in the movie, this could either look really good or really bad. Who knows? I don't have the image right here, but but I'm pretty sure if you just look up New Mutants Demon Bear, I'm pretty sure you'll be able to find that out. And it's a really cool design. I'm just hoping they execute it well. So yeah, guys, what do you think of New Mutants being pushed to its 5th release date? And how much do you think it's actually going to keep that spot? I have my doubts. So yeah, let me know in the comments below, and let me know your thoughts. Alright, guys. This isn't movie related, but someone I know, it's my sister. My sister collects these anime figurines and whatnot, and one of them, one of them included this thing of actual Japanese candy. I swear it's not a condom. It's actually candy, like some sort of Japanese candy. Well, apparently this candy's said to be over well, maybe not over, but it's my sister said that this stuff is probably around 20 years old. And I'm gonna eat that right now. Let's just, we're gonna see how well, there's, no, it's just white pill-looking things. I'm pretty sure it's not pills. It is Japanese candy. I'm willing to bet there's, no flavor to this. I'm willing to, it's just gonna be all chalky, and it's just gonna be ugh. But, yeah. Just gonna try this. Yep, there's, no smell. There's, no smell to this. Let's see what this tastes like. There's a hint of a flavor in here. There would have probably been more flavor. There would have been probably more flavor if this was fresh. Again, this has not been opened for somewhere around 20 years. You guys probably aren't even that old. You guys probably weren't even... Some of you guys watching might not even been born when this candy was made. I don't know the exact year. Again, there's a hint of a flavor. It's not as flavorless as I thought it would be. Tastes a little bit like Smarties. You know Smarties? Yeah, Smarties. Yeah. Not that great, but not the worst. I mean, for a 20-year-old candy, this could have been worse. Hi. Ah. Yeah, not that great, not that horrible. But it's just There's a weird aftertaste to it. There is a weird aftertaste to this. Again, if you haven't been catching up, Pokesaurus, I was eating candy that was somewhere around 20 years old. God. Alright. There we have it, people. I ate candy that was nearly 20 years old. Wasn't the worst thing in the world, but it's also not the best. So, all right, guys. Now on to the final uh, major topic today. We're gonna be talking about like last week I talked about the worst movies of the 2010s, and today I'm gonna be talking about what, at least in my opinion, the best movies of the 2010s. Uh, yeah. Yeah, the best movies of the 2010s. Now, this isn't going to be like a traditional top 10 list. It's not going to be a traditional top 10 list. I'm actually going to go about these by genre. The movies that were, yeah, I'm going to be going, by genre. Like, the best romance, the best, war movie, the best action movie, the best comic book movie, the best funniest comedy, best drama, all that sorts of good stuff. Uh, and there's a lot of categories to go by. And the first one we're going to start off with is the best based on a true story film. Now, there's a lot of movies that are based on true stories I think are magnificent. You have, you have. I'm trying to think, uh, yeah. You have movies like The Theory of Everything, which I thought was magnificent. You have movies like, man, I'm really trying to look around. Hold on a second. I'll be right back. But yeah, based on a true story. We have we have some really good uh movie. There have been lots of really good movies that were based on true stories or biopics or whatnot. And we had movies like, for example, The Irishman. That was a really good one. We have, let's see, Ford v Ferrari. That was also a really good one. The Two Popes was a really magnificent one. We had Green Book, which is a really good one. We had Vice, which was pretty much terrifying. If you've ever seen Vice, we had Bohemian Rhapsody. That was also another really good one. We also had The Big Sick. The Big Sick was wonderful. The Disaster Artist was wonderful. We have The Post. The Post was great. We also had looking through here. That's not one right there. Let's see. Basically, movies that are based on true stories. There have been a lot of really good ones out there. But my number one movie, like I said, this isn't going to be, like I said, this is not going to be a top 10 list. This is going to be this is just going to be genres in general. So it's not 10. But anyways, my number one, the best based on a true story movie, at least in my opinion, is Black Klansman. Black Klansman was, this is a movie so crazy that you really wouldn't think it'd be true. This is the story about a police officer named Ron Stallworth, a black police officer in like the 70s or 80s or something like that, and basically he pretended to be a white guy over the phone, and had another cop go in as a Klan member to try to infiltrate the Ku Klux Klan, and pretty much figure out what's going on with them, and are they planning anything really dangerous. And this movie is just brilliant. With Spike Lee's direction and writing, of course, there's a lot of other writers as well, but this movie's so sharply written. It's directed sharply. Everyone gives fantastic performances. It's also it takes a situation that's really serious. Like, the Klan is not something really to laugh at, but yet somehow Spike Lee is able to put a lot of comedy into this. Like, this movie's really, really funny. like I said, I think it's really tough between, calling this a comedy or a drama. But if you do land on the comedy side, that does not in any way, downplay the serious aspects about the movie, and it's and showing that the Ku Klux Klan is still like, we make jokes about them, but they are still very prevalent, and they are, well, they're just really hateful people, the Klan. And this movie is just wonderful. I love Black Klansmen so much, and that's why I think it is the best movie based on a true story. Anyway, guys, our next category is the best reboot. Now, first, we have two categories. There are two different categories in this one thing. Well, not this one thing. Blah, blah, blah. I have a couple of categories. One of them is best remake, and the other one is the best reboot. Those are two separate categories, and here's what I mean why I say they are different. A remake is pretty much telling the same story, but with a few different elements. A reboot is taking the same characters and concepts, but doing something completely different with it. Or in the sense of movies like Godzilla. Yeah, the 2014 Godzilla or Captain America: The First Avenger. Those movies were reboots because they took the source material, but not only launched it with a completely different story, but also they launched a franchise with those reboots, and that's what a reboot is. So, what movie would I say is the best reboot of the 2010s? Well, the 2014 Godzilla was certainly a contender. We also have, in my opinion, one of the more underrated reboots, The Amazing Spider-Man. We also have, we've had a lot of Spider-Man reboots this past decade. We've also had, oopsies. Oop. Yeah. We've had lots of reboots, but the movie I think is the best reboot of the 2010s, taking these characters and scenarios and doing something so amazing with it, is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. This movie, I was already kind of excited for this movie. I got excited for this movie when I saw the first teaser trailer for it. That's why, when they initially announced an animated Spider-Man movie, I was like, wait, what? Are you serious? An animated Spider-Man movie? Not that I have anything against animated movies, but it's don't we kind of want to watch our superheroes come to life? If it's animated, then what's really the point? Because, I don't know. But Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse was so surprising, because it managed to be so action-packed, so funny, so dramatic, and it had, and anyone who complain, and look, I don't like Spider-Man 3, but I will say this in defense of Spider-Man 3. The problem with Spider-Man 3 was not that they had too many characters or too many villains. The problem was that they didn't balance them out right. Because in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, they had to introduce, Peter Parker, Peter B. Parker, Miles Morales, Gwen Stacy, Nicolas Cage Spider-Man, Spider-Man Noir, Spider, or whatever, Penny Parker, or whatever her name is, Spider-Ham. There were so many Spider people in this movie that they had to introduce, and all of them were given just the right amount of screen time and depth and whatnot. And then you have a bunch of Spider-Man villains in this movie, especially one that I'm definitely not going to reveal here. But they had so many different kinds of Spider-Man villains, and again, they never once felt out of place. So, again, if Spider-Man, and some people will try to say, oh, well, it's a cartoon. So you can no, it doesn't matter if it's an animated movie or not. They were still able to balance all these characters out. And that comes with writing, directing, and pacing. They still were able to it's better that this is an animated movie, but again, character development is still character development. And if Spider-Man 3 couldn't balance out all those characters, and the problem wasn't that there were too many characters, the problem was that Sam Raimi was just not a good enough filmmaker to make it work. Sorry, at least in my opinion. But yeah, guys, that's why I think Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is the best reboot of the 2010s. Anyway, guys, now we get to the best remake of the 2010s. And oh boy, there were lots of remakes in the 2010s. But to be clear, there were also way more original movies in the 2010s as well. You're just noticing the remakes more because, well, you remember what those movies were. And of course, you had movies like A Star Is Born, that was a great remake. You also had Little Women, which is a very different kind of remake. You also, and let's just face it, this decade was also the decade for the Disney remakes, like Aladdin, The Jungle Book, Beauty and the Beast, Alice in Wonderland. Or was Alice in Wonderland more of a reboot? I don't know. It's it's so strange. But yeah, there were lots of really good remakes in the 2010s. But my number one remake of the 2010s is going to be an unpopular opinion, but for me, it's The Lion King. What Jon Favreau did with The Lion King is outstanding. This movie, again, I know I keep saying this every time I talk about this movie, but think about it. This entire film, well, actually, no, I'll get to that later. Regardless, the reason why I put The Lion King in here for the best remake is, well, I mean, not only because I think it's the best movie out here that was just so happened to be a remake, but weirdly enough, most of the people's criticisms of this movie something I really loved about this movie, and that was that it felt like it stuck true to the original a lot. And I know some people are going to complain where it's like, it's not doing anything original. Well, originality doesn't necessarily mean good. I mean, The Room is original, and that was garbage. After Earth is original, and that was garbage. And I'm not saying original movies are originality is bad either. I'm just saying originality versus not original stuff. Like, you can be as non-original as you want, but what matters is how well you're doing it. And I felt like The Lion King did that very well. Like, it had a really great cast. It had, again, I'll get to the visuals here in a bit, but the visuals were outstanding. And again, if there's not really much worth changing in The Lion King, then why change it? And some of the changes they did make made sense. Like, for example, Scar's version of this movie's version of Be Prepared is very different from the original. But again, it kind of makes sense because in the movie, if you would have told me beforehand that Be Prepared was going to be like this, I would be like, what? I would be like, wait, seriously? They're cutting down Be Prepared? But however, when you really look at this version of the movie, it makes sense, because the original Be Prepared, most of the lyrics were about how cartoonishly stupid the hyenas were. Well, the hyenas aren't, you can't have hyenas that stupid in a movie that looks live action, because that would just be too ridiculous. And so, you have to change Be Prepared a bit to make this, to make it fit into this world. Otherwise, you're just doing fan service for the sake of fan service with no real meaning behind it, and it even contradicts things. Like, you can't have you can't have a lyric like, what was that? I don't know. You can't have the lyrics from Be Prepared that regard, the hyenas being stupid, in this version. It would be completely contradictory to what you're seeing on screen. So I felt like that change was actually done very well. So yeah, guys, that's why I think The Lion King is the best remake of the 2010s. Now, we get to best romance. And look, as much as we like to make jokes about, romances and whatnot, there's still lots of really good romances out there. Like, yeah, you have your garbage ones like Twilight and 50 Shades of Grey and whatnot. But, however, this was still a great year for romance movies. You had The Theory of Everything. That was a really good romance movie. I thought Water for Elephants was a pretty good romance movie. Trying to think of any other, mostly romantic movies. Hell, if you want to count Deadpool as a romance, you have that. But I think the best movie that was just strictly a love story that really did something so brilliantly unique with the genre was Her. Spike Jonze's movie Her. Now, if you don't know what Her is about, basically, it's about a dude played by Joaquin Phoenix who falls in love with his phone. Like his operating system. Like the operating system has like a voice, and she's voiced by Scarlett Johansson. That sounds really stupid, right? But Spike Jonze makes this, at least in my opinion, the most believable love story I've heard in a long time. Like, the chemistry between those two, it feels so natural. It feels more natural than most romance movies with human characters. That's how brilliantly written this film is. And, again, man, I applaud Spike Jonze for what he was trying to accomplish and what he did accomplish. Like, again, the characters just felt like they talked like normal people. They had conversations, and it was it was a very believable relationship. And I think that's probably why her won an Oscar for best original screenplay. So yeah, that's why I love her so much. Like, if you haven't seen Her, watch it. It is so good. Definitely the best romance movie of this decade, in my opinion. Now we get into the infamous category of faith-based films. There's not a lot to pick here in terms of good ones. There really isn't, because this year had a lot of shitty religious movies. Like God's Not Dead, God's Not Dead 2, Samson, Kirk Cameron Saving Christmas, Left Behind, Unplanned. A lot of these movies are so shitty because they feel like they have to force their opinions down your throat instead of sharing them, making people who don't believe look like the bad guys instead of, having them be normal human characters. Man, I don't know if it's the candy, but my stomach's feeling really weird. Yeah. But there were some good religious movies. I thought God's Not Dead, A Light in Darkness was pretty decent. Again, a shocking third installment that really should not have been as good as it was. Coming off of the first two shitty God's Not Dead movies, where, again, like I said, they made the atheists look evil. God's Not Dead 3 didn't do that. It made everybody look like normal human people. And again, it's not a perfect movie, it's not a great movie, but I thought it was decent. And another movie I think you could consider a religious movie is Hacksaw Ridge. Hacksaw Ridge was a very good religious film. Again, it doesn't make the people who don't share the same beliefs as the main hero look like bad guys. The movie doesn't do that. But for me, the best faith-based film of the 2010s, and again, it's not a large one, but it's not a large list of movies that I would put on here. But the best one out of those, I think, would be the magnificent film Life of Pi. Life of Pi is just... Life of Pi was spectacular. This movie had such gorgeous... it has some of the best visual effects I've ever seen in my life. And it's so sad that the visual effects company behind this movie, Rhythm and Hues, went bankrupt. They went bankrupt after this movie, and it's such a shame because when you watch this movie, this movie was so revolutionary. And yeah, I know a lot of people were saying the Avengers should have won the 2012 Oscar for visual effects. But no, I disagree. I do agree with the Life of Pi win. Life of Pi did something with visual effects that we had never seen before. Everything looked so real in that movie. Or if it didn't look real, it looked magical, which was what the point of this movie was supposed to be. It's supposed to feel magical. And there's lots of really heavy themes about faith and God and whatnot, and belief. And again, I'm not religious, but I can appreciate this film and the things it's trying to do. And again, I just thought it was just a brilliant, brilliant movie. More faith-based films need to be like this. I mean, they don't have to be big-budget blockbusters or whatever, but they should try... sharing the message instead of trying to force the message. And I thought Life of Pi did that wonderfully. So if you haven't checked out Life of Pi, please check it out. It is a beautiful movie. Now we get to the best war movies. There are a lot. Like, again, there's not a whole lot of war movies, but there's still quite a bit that were pretty damn good. Like, for example, as I just mentioned, Hacksaw Ridge was really good. I thought 1917 was fantastic. Shouldn't have won the Oscar for Best Visual Effects. It should have gone to The Lion King. But, however, I thought 1917 was a brilliant war movie. But the one I'd probably edge that out slightly over would be Christopher Nolan's crazy-ass masterpiece, Dunkirk. Dunkirk was one of the most intense films I've ever seen in my life. Like, this movie's not really told very linearly. I mean, it's Christopher Nolan. Of course, he's gonna confuse you with his film structure. But this film has a really unique structure where it takes it takes place in 3 different locations over 3 different periods. One, the mole, which I can only assume follows these people on the ground, or were at least initially on the ground. It follows them over the course of a week. Then we have this one segment, this other part of the movie, that's focusing on these people on a boat, like on the sea, for one day. And another part of the movie focuses on this fighter pilot played by Tom Hardy over the course of 1 hour. And this movie constantly intercuts between these 3 different times and 3 different locations. And it's done so well. And again, like, to where, like, sometimes these events will overlap each other. This movie is just so good. And again, and the weird thing is, there's not really that many visual effects in the movie. A lot of it was done, not really just practically, but just done real. Like, whenever they sunk a ship into the ocean, that's not a miniature ship, that's actually them sinking a real ship into the ocean. Or, what about this one plane? Well, they were also sinking a real plane into the ocean. This movie is insane with the immense scale of everything. And again, it's just it's just wonderful. Definitely some of Christopher Nolan's best direction. And also, the score. All the sounds in the movie, but, like, the score by Hans Zimmer is so intense. Like, it just keeps building. Like, the intensity of it just keeps building and building and building and building and just doesn't let you go until the end of the film. And along with that score, you have some incredible sound editing and mixing. Especially the sound editing. Like, this movie is PG-13. Like, but you would swear you were not watching a PG-13 film because it's so intense. People get shot and whatnot, but somehow it's not done to an R-rated level, and yet it feels so visceral and intense to where by the end of the movie, you just want to fucking, like, just hold your head and just go, like, God, what, like, it felt like you went through war. And and just the sweeping of the ending, oh my God. If you guys have not seen Dunkirk, you need to watch it. Because, again, I feel like it's Christopher Nolan's masterpiece. Like, well, okay, he has a lot of masterpieces, but this is definitely, in my opinion, the best war movie of the 2010s. Now, we get to the best sports film. Now, again, there's not a lot to choose from here, but there are some really damn good sports movies to choose from. A lot of people really loved I, Tonya. A lot of people really loved Moneyball. A lot of people really loved Foxcatcher. But my choice for the best sports film of the decade is a sequel that no one expected no one knew that they wanted, nor did they think would be anywhere near as good as its original predecessors. But my number 1 best sports movie of the 2010s is Creed. This movie, again, I thought was just wonderful. Like, this does everything that a sequel that I love late sequels doing. It's taking how play up the nostalgia a bit, but also don't be afraid to take a few risks. That's why I loved about the Star Wars: The Force Awakens and Star Wars: The Last Jedi, and that's why I love about Creed. Creed does honor its legacy, but is not afraid to be its own thing. Uh, Again, like, you have Michael B. Jordan giving his all and Sylvester Stallone giving the performance of his career. Like, Sylvester Stallone not only got nominated for an Oscar for his performance, which, keep in mind, he's never been nominated for an Oscar since the original Rocky. That's how long it's been since... Hell, it's been forever since anyone's praised him in a movie. And yet he got nominated for an Oscar for Creed, and was the frontrunner to win. Like, everyone thought he was going to win Best Supporting Actor, until that went to Mark Rylance for Bridge of Spies. But Creed, I thought, was just a great, great movie. I thought it was wonderful, and again, if you haven't seen the training sequence, well, then again, there's a little bit of spoiler-ish stuff going on in there. But if you ever get the chance to watch Creed, I would say wait till you get to the training montage. Oh my god, I think this blows the original Rocky training sequence out of the water. This one's so badass, and a lot of it has to do with Ludwig Göransson's score. And which, if you don't know who he is, he's also the guy who composed Black Panther, and he also composed The Mandalorian. Man, I really loved Creed. This was, again, I never expected this movie to be as good as it was, but here we are now, and that's why Creed is my favorite sports movie of the 2010s. Now we get into musicals. Now there's going to be a little bit of a few criterias going into best musical. For one, the main one is there's not this is not going to count. That's not going to have animated movies on there, because a lot of animated movies are, musicals. This is just going to be strictly live action musicals. So you're not going to see Lion King on here. So among the live action musicals, which one will I pick? We have Beauty and the Beast. Beauty and the Beast is a really good reimagining of the classic animated film. Or hell, you also have Aladdin. Aladdin was a really great retelling of the original film and had some really fun musical sequences. You also have The Greatest Showman, which has some of the best dance choreography I've ever seen in a movie. You also have La La Land, which was nominated for Best Picture, and everyone thought was going to win Best Picture. Oh yeah, and of course you also have the sleeper hit Sing Street. Sing Street was another great musical movie, and with some really catchy songs, especially the song "Drive It Like You Stole It." "Drive It Like You Stole It." That's one of the main songs from Sing Street, and it was great. And you also have some unconventional musicals, like musicals that they don't really necessarily break out into song and dance, but there's still many scenes in which the characters are performing songs and whatnot. Like, for example, A Star Is Born is you could probably consider a musical film. Bohemian Rhapsody, you could probably also consider a musical film. But my number one pick for the best musical of the 2010s is none of those. And instead is one that I actually rewatched last night. And man, more people need to talk about and praise Les Miserables. Les Miserables was just wonderful. I love Les Miserables so much. This does everything I love about movie musicals. For one, this movie, it doesn't forget that it's a movie. Somehow it's able to balance being a musical where, for the most of the runtime, people are singing, but, however, there's some really great filmmaking in there. Also, this film is huge in scale. This movie is huge in scale. Hell, just look at the opening sequence. Look down, don't look him in the eye. That scene. I am astounded how huge that scene was. And here's the crazy thing. This movie only cost $65 million. This movie only cost $65 million, and yet it has this huge ass production scale. And not only that, but you also have huge stars in it like Hugh Jackman, Russell Crowe, Anne Hathaway, Amanda Seyfried, Helena Bonham Carter, what else, like Eddie Redmayne. Well, he wasn't really that well known back then, but you also have Sacha Baron Cohen. This cast is so big, and yet, like that compounded with the production value, all of it was only done for like around $60 to $65 million. That is incredible. And again, I just thought like this. Another really cool, interesting bit of trivia about this movie was that the actors all sung on set. Now, the reason why that's significant is because usually when you're filming a live-action musical movie, you record your songs first, and then you sort of lip-sync it when come filming time. But, however, I think it was Eddie Redmayne who said this, and he put it best, where it's like, I mean, filming your songs, he said that, when you're filming when you're singing your songs live, like in the set and whatnot, you get a better context of what your environment is, what your surroundings are. Whereas when you're pre-recording your songs, you kind of have to guess the the context and whatnot, and you don't get as much of a powerful acting emotion as you would on when you're actually on set. And I think it really shows, because I think this is the musical with the best acting I've ever seen in my life. Like, oh my, Hugh Jackman I think gives the best performance of his entire career. Don't get me wrong, I loved his performance in Logan, but man, I still gotta say his best performance was in Les Misérables. Like, this was so difficult to pull off. And don't even get me started on Anne Hathaway. Oh my god, her I Dreamed a Dream sequence had me tearing up. Like, it is devastating how powerful her performance is. And another, underrated performance is Eddie Redmayne, who, if you know, I don't know if you can, I'm pretty sure you can still see him, but he's the guy who kind of looks like you can sort of, he has his face in this position, next to this one, next to Amanda Seyfried. He's like, His performance, especially at the end of this movie, oh my god, rips my heart out. And the ending of hell, I don't even think, and I know everyone gives Russell Crowe shit for his performance. I thought he was really good. Again, I thought his singing wasn't that bad either. I think it's really because he's being upstaged by pretty much everyone else in the movie. Like, when you're going up against Hugh Jackman and Anne Hathaway and Eddie Redmayne, you're gonna kind of look like the odd one out. But again, I thought he was very solid in that movie. And the ending, oh my god, I'm not even afraid to say this. I was ugly crying at the end of this movie. The ending of this movie had me ugly crying. This movie is so powerful. I love Les Misérables so much. God. And apparently this is from the same director of Cats. I haven't seen Cats yet, although I'm about to on Monday. Yeah. But don't let the fact that this is from the same director of Cats dissuade you. This movie is magnificent, at least in my opinion. And it even got nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars. But yeah, guys, I love Les Misérables. This might be the best live-action musical I've ever seen. It just so perfectly balances the musical side with the movie side. And it's just so expertly filmed and crafted. It has the best acting I've ever seen in a musical. And again, the emotions just ring so strong. And so, yeah, guys, that's why Les Misérables is my number one favorite musical of the 2010s. So there we go. Our next category is the best Western of the 2010s. We have, there are a few critical darling. Well, the Western genre has, for the most part, not really been that thriving in recent years. But there are a couple of gems in my opinion. Like, for example, The Hateful Eight. I feel like The Hateful Eight, which has recently gotten quite a bit of quite a bit of backlash, but I don't get the hate for The Hateful Eight. I thought The Hateful Eight was great. Man, try saying that 3 times fast. And another Western that everyone hated, but I thought was just awesome, was The Lone Ranger. Although The Lone Ranger was a great Western too. But my number one Western of the 2010s, do I really need to say it? Like, most people would have Django Unchained as their number one Western of the 2010s. Uh, yeah. Uh, yeah, Django Unchained has some of the best writing of this decade. Like, this movie is so funny. It's so funny yet also so thrilling. Jamie Foxx was a great lead, even though apparently the lead role was originally supposed to go to Will Smith, but he dropped out, and so then they got Jamie Foxx. Man, Will Smith really missed out on that one. Uh, you also have Christoph Waltz, who won an Oscar for his performance as Dr. King Schultz. Uh, and then you also have one of the best villains I've ever seen in a movie. Calvin Candy, played by Leonardo DiCaprio. This guy's a sick bastard, and he just loves every minute of it. Like, and you love watching him. You're like, Jesus Christ, I know you're a horrible person, but I just can't take my eyes off you. You're like, I want to see what you could actually do. And Leonardo DiCaprio gives one of his, I think, in my opinion, maybe one of his most underrated performances. Because again, I don't see how he didn't get nominated for an Oscar for this. But yeah. I love Django Unchained. It's a lot of fun. Physics be damned. This movie, like, you want to try to talk about physics in a Tarantino movie? It's no use. There's like no physics are a myth. Physics are a complete myth in this world because things happen for no good reason. But damn it, it's amazing, and it's just what you want from a Quentin Tarantino movie. You want that kind of ridiculousness. You want that kind of silliness. And this movie's, and oh my god, the ending is so satisfying. Oh my god, if there's one thing that's better, if there's one thing that could possibly be better than seeing Nazis getting blown to shit in Inglourious Bastards, it's seeing slave owners getting their asses handed to them by a black guy in Django Unchained. Oh my god, I love Django Unchained. It's so fun. Oh yeah, and Rango. Rango is another great Western movie. I forgot to mention Rango. Yeah. That's why I think Django Unchained is the best Western of the 2010s. Now we get to the best animated film, and this decade was a really revolutionary year for animation. So many animated movies were trying different things. It also saw pretty much the death of 2D animated movies. Like, we still got a few 2D like some of the major 2D animated movies that came out. Probably the only three that I can think of were the 2011 Winnie the Pooh, My Little Pony the movie, and Teen Titans Go to the Movies. All of them great. But this decade kind of saw the death of mainstream 2D animation. Although you still did have some, almost independent style 2D animated movies, like the Breadwinner. If you guys haven't seen The Breadwinner, and no, not Breadwinner's the TV show on Nickelodeon, no. The Breadwinner is a movie that you could probably find on Netflix, but it's a very good movie about this girl from the Middle East who's trying to provide for her family by breaking the law by pretending to be a boy. It's a very powerful film. But then you also have other animated movies, like, for example, Rango was a great animated movie. I thought, Kung Fu Panda 2 was brilliant, and Kung Fu Panda 3 was also really good. You also had movies like, for example, the How to Train Your Dragon franchise. Those movies were much better than you would think they would be. You also had movies like, what's another really good example of really good animated movies in the 2010s? Oh yeah, Klaus came out last year. Klaus was a really great animated movie. You also had, Inside Out. Inside Out was a brilliant movie. And speaking of Pixar, you also have Toy Story 3 and Toy Story 4. Two very good movies. You also had Pixar sequels. One of them that we've been begging to see, which was Incredibles 2, which I loved. And you also had a sequel that nobody wanted, but really turned out to be really good, which was Finding Dory. And for a while, my number one animated movie of the 2010s was Kubo and the Two Strings, because like Kubo and the Two Strings, oh my god, that movie is crazy good, and it's actually the second ever animated movie to be nominated for best visual effects. But my number one animated movie of the 2010s, oh boy, oh boy, I'm going to talk about this movie more. My number one animated movie of the 2010s is The Lion King. Yeah. The Lion King. This is where I can talk a lot more about the animation aspects of this movie. But again, you know how much I've been praising The Lion King. The Lion King, I think, is a very underrated movie. And yes, this is an animated movie. I don't care what anybody says. That's not an opinion, it's a fact. It's an anime. Now, whether or not it's the best animated movie is an opinion. But whether or not it is an animated movie is not an opinion. Like, it is an animated movie. That's a fact. It's completely animated. Yeah, they had like digital camera rigs or whatever to sort of simulate camera movements, but the entire movie was still animated on a computer and like animated by hand. Like, all the creatures you see in the movie are hand animated. This entire world is animated. Everything from the grass, the water, the animals, the dirt, the sky, the sun, everything about it was animated on a computer. And this just takes animate. Like, I don't think an animated movie has been this revolutionary since Toy Story. Which Toy Story, if you remember, Toy Story was the very first feature-length CGI animated movie. And then 24 years later, we have The Lion King. Either 24 or 26, I don't know. No, it's probably 24. Yeah, 24. But now we're at a point. Where now we're at a point where animation can simulate live action, so much so that you can create an animated movie and have it pass off to look like a live action movie, which is insane. So yeah, that's why, and of course, don't even get me started on why I think The Lion King should have won best visual effects at the Oscars. And if you do want me to know about that, there's literally a video on my channel called "Why the Lion King Should Have Won the Best Visual Effects Oscar" or something like that. It's a more recent video. You can find that. But yeah, guys, that's why The Lion King is my number one animated movie of the 2010s. And so now we get to the best thriller, not best horror movie. Like, that's coming right after this, but the best thriller. Now, what's a thriller? Pretty much it's a movie that keeps you on the edge of, like, not that you're necessarily scared, but a movie that keeps you so on edge where you're like, where's this gonna go? Where's this going? And you're just worrying for the characters, but again, you're not really feeling scared. You know what I mean? You're just on the edge of your seat, just going, what's gonna happen? Like you're just that invested in it. And there's lots of really great thrillers out there. One great example would be Joker. Joker is a really good example of a thriller. But however, and that was going to be my pick until I recently rewatched a movie that had really the lowest stakes possible. Like, really, the film I'm about to mention has no real stakes. It's just like, okay, this is about to, like, I get, like, how do I explain? It's like, again, the stakes are just not high at all. But what's so brilliant about Whiplash is that even though this is just a movie about a dude in his early 20s it's pretty much what this is. It's pretty much it's a metaphorical dick measuring contest between a early 20s drummer and his drummer teacher. Like, these two are where it's pretty, like, his teacher is like really hardcore. Like, he's played by J.K. Simmons, and he's just like screaming at him, and just screaming at him, and just praying. Like, he's a really hardcore teacher. And again, again, not high stakes at all. I mean, at worst, this kid's gonna have his pride. I guess he doesn't really have his pride. He won't have his pride. But the world's not ending. No one's gonna die from this. But what makes Whiplash so good is how it's edited, how it's written, and how it's directed, and how it's acted. I swear, just from this guy, just from this kid trying to prove himself to this teacher, or trying to one-up his teacher, I was shaking. I was like, oh, it's like, it's that intense of a film. And again, no one's dying in this. No one's getting shot. No one's getting, like, no cities are being blown up. It's the lowest stakes possible. But yet somehow Whiplash is just so able to grip me like that. It's so able to just have me just locked onto the screen, never looking away. Probably not even blinking for a few minutes. Just from watching these two go at it. And again, you wouldn't normally think of this as a thriller. But again, because you would normally think it's a lot of people would say this is a music drama. But I really would call this a thriller. Because again, the way it's just edited, the way everything just moves, it's just like, the entire the entire climax of this movie. And it's strange calling it a climax, because again, it's not high stakes at all. But the climax of this movie is so intense. You're just like, please get through this. Well, do this. And oh my god, this movie. If you have not seen, this is from the same director of La La Land. It's from director Damien Chazelle, who also directed La La Land and also directed was his name, and also directed First Man. But yeah, if you have not seen Whiplash, you need to see Whiplash. It is so intense, and J.K. Simmons gives maybe one of the best supporting actor performances of this decade. He is, if you know who J.K. Simmons is, he's also the guy who played J. Jonah Jameson in the original Spider-Man trilogy, who I always said even though I don't like those movies, he was always the best part of them, and he's so good in Whiplash. So yeah, that's why Whiplash is my number one thriller of the 2010s. Now we get into horror. And I'm telling you, this decade was so good for horror. This movie, this decade, it started off kind of weak or whatnot, but as we went on, we started seeing more indie filmmakers taking their stab at horror. Stab. And we had a lot of really great gems. You had the critically acclaimed The Conjuring. You had The Babadook. You had It Follows. You had what's some other really great horror movies? Oh yeah, you had Hereditary, which was still probably the scariest movie I've ever seen in my life. You also had Midsommar, which is also great. You also had one of the few straight up horror movie blockbusters with It. It was a crazy phenomenon that It was. It made over $700 million at the box office, and it was insane how big of a phenomenon that movie was. You also had Split, a movie that again, I'm not going to say what it leads. Well, granted, watch Split. Split's also really good. But my number one horror movie of the 2010s is, my number one horror movie of the 2010s is Get Out. Get Out. Again, it's not, I don't think it's, at least in my opinion, it's not particularly scary, but holy shit, it's intense. This movie, this movie, and again, I would classify this as a horror movie, because it does have a lot of the horror movie tropes. But yeah, Get Out was, here's how I always describe this when I talk about Get Out. Get Out is a movie that sucks until you realize what the bigger picture is. When you figure out what the bigger picture is, it's like, oh wait, this stuff that was, I thought this stuff was forced, and I thought that stuff in the beginning, I thought that was forced allegories of racism or whatnot, and we're just trying to force it in, but no, you did that on purpose so that you could have this happen, or when you really think about it, oh, that's why this happened. Jordan Peele was so unexpectedly brilliant with Get Out. His writing, his direction is just incredible. The pacing of this is great. And again, like, and to anybody wondering, no, this is not going after white people. Get Out is not after, white people. What Get Out really, what Get Out's trying to do, like, it's just trying to criticize people who say they're not racist, but then say things that are what we call microaggressions, like where it's like, saying things that aren't deliberately racist, but it's still kind of awkward. Saying things like, just going up to a black person and going, if I could, I would have voted for Obama for a third term. Like, it's just like that really random, I'm not racist comments. It's that kind of weird. So, and this movie kind of takes that concept where it's like, what if you took that, like took those people, but then made it crazy. So, and again, yeah, like I said, this is movies. This is movies. In the realm of horror movies, I think Get Out is the best of the decade in terms of horror movies. Again, I loved Get Out, and thank goodness they changed the ending, because the ending you see in the movie Get Out is a great ending. That was not the original ending of Get Out. The original ending was that's where things started to get really forced. It's like, god damn it, really? Thank God they changed the ending of this movie, because that would have seriously hurt it. But yeah, if you guys have not seen Get Out, watch it. It is so good. It is so brilliant. Oh my god, I love Get Out so much. Yeah, that's why Get Out is the best horror movie, at least in my opinion, of the 2010s. Now, we get to action films. This is where we're going to be getting a little bit more specific. Because for one, no animated movies for best action film, and also no comic book movies, no heavy sci-fi movies, and no heavy fantasy movies. Because there's already kind of action in those movies. I'm trying to make it a little bit more broad. So, in terms of just straight up action movies, what do we have to go on? Well, we have Mission Impossible Fallout, which is a really great action movie. We had The Raid 2, which has probably some of the most intense fight sequences I've ever seen on film. John Wick was a great surprise. Trying to think of any others that were really significant. Trying to think. I mean, there might be one that comes to mind, but I can't think of it right now. But for me, the best just straightforward action movie of the 2010s is Mad Max Fury Road. You want to see a crazy movie, watch Fury Road. Mad Max Fury Road is absolutely insane. Now, some people will say, there's a little bit of a sci-fi element to it. There may be, but it's not predominantly sci-fi. Like, it's not like, when you think of sci-fi, you're not really going to be thinking of Mad Max Fury Road. You're going to be, because most of this is really, car chases and whatnot. And yeah, this does take place in a post-apocalyptic future, but it's not heavy sci-fi, so I will count this. And Mad Max Fury Road has some of the best action ever put to film. Like, I don't know how they were able to choreograph these car chases, these action scenes. Like, it is astounding. And another great thing about Mad Max Fury Road is its visual storytelling. There is dialogue. I mean, yeah, there is quite a bit of dialogue, but most of the story can be told through just looking at the screen, which I love seeing that in a movie. Some movies do need a lot of dialogue, like Her and Django Unchained. I'll get right back. Yeah, Tomb Raider is an action movie. Again, I'm not gonna be reading off of these a whole lot right now, but I will say Tomb Raider is an action movie. Again, there's not like, if you wanted to be, at least if you wanted to qualify for this list, then yeah, it would go, like, that would go under action films, considering it's not heavy sci-fi and not heavy fantasy, and it's not a comic book movie. Yeah, that would be an action movie. But Mad Max Fury Road, I mean, yeah, the visual storytelling of this movie is out of this world. The colors leap off of the screen. It is beautiful. Like, the night scenes are so blue. The deserts are so orange and yellow. It is gorgeous. It has some really good visual effects as well. Uh, Furiosa, one of the best female protagonists of the past decade. She's a great hero. Uh, and fun fact, oh yeah, and also another great thing about this movie, the sound editing and sound mixing are just so good, and the score. uh, the musical score in this movie. Look up if you haven't heard of this if you haven't heard of this track in Mad Max Fury Road, whatever you can, look up Mad Max Fury Road Brothers in Arms. That score piece is so brilliant, and Mad Max Fury Road should have not only been nominated for Best Original Score, it should have won, in my opinion. But it was, and fun fact, Mad Max Fury Road was actually nominated for Best Picture at the Academy Awards. Yeah, the Oscars thought it was that good, which is amazing. And hey, I agree, Mad Max Fury Road is one of the best action movies I've ever seen in my life. So if you haven't seen Mad Max Fury Road, check it out. It is worth it is a treat. And that's why Mad Max Fury Road is the best action movie, in my opinion, of the 2010s. And now we get to the best comic book movie of the 2010s, which this decade, man, I already said how great the decade was for horror movies, but this decade's been even better for comic book movies. Like this decade is so you had you had movies like, the Captain America sequels, Avengers Infinity War, Avengers Endgame, you had Deadpool, you had Joker, you had The Amazing Spider-Man, you had Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, you had Thor Ragnarok, you had X-Men Days of Future Past, you had Logan, you had X-Men First Class, you had Man of Steel, which in my opinion is very underrated, you had the Kick-Ass movies. This decade was just crazy for comic book movies. And yet none of those are my number one best comic book movie of the decade. My number one best comic book movie of the decade, in my opinion, is a controversial pick. And it's The Dark Knight Rises. The Dark Knight Rises, I thought, I don't get the backlash for The Dark Knight Rises. It got good reviews, but it got really good reviews. But over the years, people have started to have a stigma again toward this movie. People started to not like this movie as much, and I don't understand why. I love The Dark Knight Rises. I thought that movie was so brilliant. Was it as good as The Dark Knight? No, but in my opinion, The Dark Knight is one of the best movies ever made. Period. So it's kind of hard to follow up The Dark Knight. So it's kind of hard to follow that up with anything. It's kind of hard to follow up a better movie with that. And The Dark Knight Rises, I just thought was magnificent. For one, Batman, we finally get to see Batman have a physical opponent. For the most part, we've just kind of seen him going against the psychological villains, which those are great. But at least in this universe, or at least in this Batman franchise, we haven't, Batman's not really had that much of a physical opponent. Yeah. But with this, we have Bane. Bane, played by Tom Hardy, is fierce. This guy, the fight in the sewers between Batman and Bane is so intense. Again, it's not flashy, it's not moving fast or whatever, but it's just from a thematic perspective, it is just, it is intense as all hell. But, yeah, I love The Dark Knight Rises so much. I don't understand the hate for The Dark Knight Rises. I thought this was a perfect kind of conclusion for this Batman trilogy, and at some point I need to review this movie. I really should. And so, yeah, that's why The Dark Knight Rises is my number one comic book movie of the 2010s. We're getting pretty close to the end. Now we're going into the best fantasy film. And for best fantasy film, again, more criteria. No comic book movies, and no comic book movies, and no animated movies, because let's face it, every animated movie is a fantasy. Let's just get that out of the way. Almost every animated movie out there is a fantasy of some sorts. So, yeah, none of those are going to be on there. So, what about just what about just straight up fantasy movies? Well, we have the Hobbit movies. Those could be a contender. You also have Percy Jackson and the Olympians, The Lightning Thief, which I thought was a lot of fun. I thought Beauty and the Beast was underrated. I thought Beauty and the Beast was really good. We also have Aladdin. I thought Aladdin was great. Yeah, I'm trying. Like, Alice in Wonderland, I thought was a lot of fun. Trying to think of what other big kind of fantasy movies. Oh yeah, no sci-fi movies. I will say no sci-fi movies. So yeah, it's kind of hard to think. But I do know what my number one fantasy movie of the decade. Oh yeah, I forgot. Life of Pi is another fantasy movie. It was fantastic. So what would be my number one fantasy movie of the decade? Well, I will go with Jon Favreau's remake of The Jungle Book. Ooh, ooh, I heard thunder. But yeah, The Jungle Book. Here's the funny thing: I was not really that excited for this movie at first because I don't. I like. You guys might remember this, but I don't like the original Jungle Book. But yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't like the original Jungle Book. I thought it was a very black kind of story. Like, no one really like. No one was really given any kind of major character development. Shere Khan was a boring villain. I didn't like the art style of that movie. I just think the Jungle Book, like the original Jungle Book, is one of the most overrated movies in my opinion. But when I saw the trailer for this version of the Jungle Book, my jaw was dropped. I was like, "Hold up!" And here's another weird thing: this movie was not filmed in a jungle. Yeah, the animals are CGI, but this entire film was actually filmed on a blue screen in Los Angeles. I was like, what? Because like I was going in, because like when the first trailers were coming out, I was like, no way, there's no way this movie was all filmed on a green screen. Like how are you or on a blue screen? How are you gonna pull that off? And then I saw the movie, and I was like, again, I was still in disbelief. I was like, there's no way this was done on a computer. Like, again, look up visual effects breakdowns of the Jungle Book. It is amazing what they did. This set the groundwork for what the Lion King would eventually accomplish. And I feel like the Lion King did it even better, but the Jungle Book also is to be given some praise as well. The Jungle Book, again, like, just the entire like, the fact that they were able to make this look, well, like, the way they were able to make this look so real, and again, none of it, again, for the most part, it was usually the boy who was only real. Like, yeah, some of the elements he would interact with weren't real. I mean, were real. Like, for example, this one little water cup thing, this water gathering thing he has, or, the things he's interacting with, but, however, what this Jungle Book accomplished was astounding. And again, it had such a great story. The characters are all given depth. There's better reasons for characters doing things. Shere Khan actually has a good reason for wanting to kill Mowgli. Again, I just love the Jungle Book so much. It is so masterful. What they were able to pull off in that movie. And again, this is definitely one of the best remakes I've ever seen. Definitely the best fantasy film I've ever seen in my life. I've seen this decade, and definitely one of the best Disney movies I've seen ever. Just period. Just yeah. If you guys have not seen this version of the Jungle Book, watch it. Even if you don't like the original, trust me, I didn't like the original. I loved this version. I thought it was really good. And so that's why The Jungle Book is my number one best animated movie of the 2010s. Now we get into sci-fi, science fiction. And this decade was great for movies like that. Because you had movies like the new Planet of the Apes trilogy. You had Blade Runner 2049. You had the return of Star Wars with Star Wars The Force Awakens. And my number one Star Wars movie of all time, Star Wars The Last Jedi. Again, everyone's going to want to kill me for that. But I don't care. You also have, I forgot to mention for fantasy movies. Like one of the best fantasy movies of the decade. I forgot to mention The Shape of Water, which won Best Picture that year. And also Kong Skull Island, if that was fantasy. Maybe? I don't know why I would classify Kong Skull Island as, actually. But, in terms of sci-fi, you also had Godzilla from 2014, which I thought was brilliant. You also had... And we're talking about sci-fi movies now. We had... Oh yeah, Ex Machina. If you guys have never seen Ex Machina, maybe it's on Netflix, I don't know, but check out Ex Machina. Ex Machina was amazing. It's a movie that makes you feel stupid. In a good way, Ex Machina makes you feel stupid. I'm trying to think. In terms of sci-fi movies, you also had Interstellar, which I do really want to try to rewatch because I'm starting to grow on that movie. And again, sci-fi, when it comes to best sci-fi movie, I'm not doing comic book movies because we already did that. Ooh, another great sci-fi movie that I forgot. 10 Cloverfield Lane. 10 Cloverfield Lane is so good. Again, it's a sequel that no one was expecting, and a sequel that you wouldn't normally think is a sequel. In fact, if anything, it barely has a connection to the original Cloverfield at all. But again, it's just so well done. I love that so much. Looking through this, Rogue One, a Star Wars story. That was another great sci-fi movie. And Solo, a Star Wars story, was another great sci-fi movie of the decade. Not The Rise of Skywalker. I forgot to mention, you also have, what was another... There was another... Ready Player One. Ready Player One was a really fun science fiction movie, too. Let's see what else there is. We also have, let's see. In terms of sci-fi, we also have, Her. I forgot. Her. We just discussed Her. Her was a really great science fiction movie. Gravity. Gravity is one I feel like a lot of audiences have kind of, thrown a lot of backlash at. And I don't understand, because I loved Gravity so much. Definitely had one of those ugly cry moments for me. I definitely had some ugly cries. And so, yeah, I'm looking through, see if I missed anything. Looks like I'm not missing anything right now. But anyways, you guys want to know my number one science fiction movie of the 2010s? Well, my number one best science fiction movie of the 2010s is, and this is really no surprise here, Inception. This movie was so crazy. Like, this movie is about trying to infiltrate dreams within dreams within dreams in order to steal ideas and whatnot. Like, I don't know how this movie is just fucking crazy. The visual effects are still amazing to this day. This is, like, the visual effects in Inception do not feel like they would, Inception's nearly 10 years old. It's going to turn 10 years old this year. And the visual effects look like something that came out of, 2020. This movie was way ahead of the game in terms of visual effects. It also has a really great story with great dialogue. And I know people like to criticize the what is it called? The exposition. But really, I don't think there's any way you could have done that other than exposition. And I think it's done really, really well. The score by Hans Zimmer is so good. The editing is fantastic. The cinematography is fantastic. And also, you had, and one of the most mind-blowing endings to a movie of this decade. Like, wow. Your jaws is going to be like, what? It's like, oh my god. If you've not seen Inception, watch it, and then you'll see why I think it is the best sci-fi movie of the 2010s. Now we get to funniest comedy. And it's kind of hard, like, when trying to define comedies, it's kind of hard, because, like, I didn't want to put in the best comedy, because, like, again, what movies are comedies these days? Like, really, what is a comedy? Like, the comedies these days are put into so many subgenres and whatnot, or now subgenres in so many things, to where it's like it's kind of hard to tell what is a comedy, what's not a comedy. As I said before, I don't know what to call Black Klansman, if it's a comedy or a drama. I don't know. Another great example of this is Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Again, it's really hard to determine whether that's a comedy or not. Some movies are technically comedies, like Her, but also have a lot of but what makes that movie great isn't really the laughs, it's really how well the characters are realized. So, when it comes, so that's why I've made this funniest comedy. Just what comedy had me laughing more than any other movie that you could call a comedy? And for me, it's actually, again, it got good reviews, but it's a little bit of a controversial pick. And so my number one funniest comedy that I saw in the 2010s is Anchorman 2: The Legend Continues. I like Anchorman 1. I do. Hold on, let me just get a drink here. But yeah, I like the first Anchorman. I thought it was pretty good. Anchorman 2 doubles down on the stupid, doubles down on the randomness, and doubles down on the just the pure insanity of everything. This movie is so crazy. And I'm telling you guys, if you have not seen the final act of this movie, and I swear to, no, not even the final act, it's like the last few minutes of Anchorman 2, is some of the craziest shit. Like, you thought if you thought the brawl in Anchorman 1 was crazy, wait till you get to the brawl in Anchorman 2. It's bigger, louder, funnier. Oh my, it's even crazier. This movie just does not give a fuck about realism. It doesn't give a shit about anything like that. It never takes itself seriously. There's not one moment in this movie where it gets, like, legit serious. Like, seriousness be damned in this movie. This movie just doesn't give a shit about any of that. It just wants to make you laugh and laugh until you piss yourself. And I thought Anchorman 2 did that so well. I love this even more than the first Anchorman. This movie, again, like I said, it's just so stupid, but it knows it's stupid. It knows how stupid this entire thing is. And again, I just thought it was so brilliant. Look out! What was that thing? Oh no, it wasn't look out. It was like, it's a were hyena. If you don't know it, again, watch the movie. Oh my god. Anchorman 2 is so out there. It is so crazy. And so that's why I think, in my opinion, Anchorman 2: The Legend Continues is the funniest comedy of the 2010s. And now we get to the last category today. The best drama. Just straight out drama. And there's a lot of really good ones to choose from here. There really is. Like, let me look through this. Boop. Boop, 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 boop. Yeah. The best dramas of the 2010s. And yeah, this decade it was pretty strong for dramas too. You had movies like hold on. Yeah. Oopsies. I am not prepared at all for this. I am not prepared. I am a dummy. Yeah. But when it comes to, like, the best dramas, we have a lot of really great contenders. We have 12 Years a Slave, which is one of the most devastating depictions of slavery I've ever seen in my life. You also had movies like Gone Girl. Actually, no, that probably be a thriller. I probably should have. And Nightcrawler was a thriller. Yeah. I still think Whiplash was still better than those two, but, like, I probably should have included those when mentioning thrillers. We also have, Selma. Selma was a really good drama. We also had movies like Looking Through. Oh, wait. I am so unprepared for this. I am so unprepared. Let's see. Oh yeah, we had movies like Roma. We had movies like, let's see. I'm trying to bounce as many things as I can. But yeah, some really great dramas out there would be, yeah, like, for 12 Years a Slave, Roma, we had, what was another great one? We had Parasite, which just came out last year. We had The Irishman, which is another great drama. Looking through this. If you want to consider BlacKkKlansman a drama, maybe. I don't know if it'll be a drama. Let's see. I don't know. But I'm wasting time here. Basically, yeah, my number one drama of the 2010s is Moonlight. This is the movie that beat out La La Land for Best Picture at the Oscars that year. And look, I know La La Land is great, but I really do agree that Moonlight was the deserving winner. Moonlight was so good. And now, if you don't know what Moonlight's about, Moonlight is what I like to call the better version of Boyhood. I know everyone loved Boyhood, but I just found Boyhood to be so boring. It was boring, too long, and also, it was mainly just filler. It was focusing on things that weren't really important to this kid's life. I will say it's pretty impressive that they filmed that over the course of 12 years, but it's like, there were just a bunch of dated pop culture references, things that were put in there that weren't really that important, and, yeah, I thought that, whereas with Moonlight, I thought Moonlight was significantly better, because, for one, it doesn't really tell you when it takes place. Like, this could have happened in the 90s. This could have happened in the 2000s. This could have happened in the 2010s. Who knows? But it's never really made clear when this takes place. I really like that. Also, with Moonlight, it also... How do I describe it? It also focuses on just the three most important aspects of Chiron's life. And that's what the lead character's name is, Chiron. We only focus on the three most important events in his life that made him who he is today. And this is not a biopic, by the way. This is like a completely fictional film, but again, it's so wonderful. And it also focuses on a lot of interesting subjects as well that you might not realize going into it. And I think you could probably find Moonlight on Netflix. That's your homework tonight, guys. If you have Netflix, watch Moonlight. Moonlight is just a brilliant film with great acting, great direction, great cinematography, great score, great. Did I say writing? Did I say direction? Did I say? I don't know. Editing. This movie's also edited very well. But yeah, if you have not seen Moonlight, what are you doing? Watch Moonlight. It is so good. It is so brilliant. And so that's why I think Moonlight is the best drama of the 2010s. And so there you have it, guys. Those are, at least in my opinion, the best movies of the decade by genre. It's not necessarily my top 10 best movies of the decade. You could probably find that on... where is it? Yeah, on my Letterboxd. Letterboxd.com/ChristianHannah. Yeah, you can find my top 10 best movies. The reason why I didn't want to make a top 10 list for this was because it would have, like, how do I describe it? Like, my list for, like, that list is constantly changing. So I decided to, like, simplify it and just go, yeah, what do I think are just the best movies of each genre? And I might try to take this video, edit it down, like, at least take this segment of the stream, edit it down a bit, and try to make a more professional looking video with more reference clips and whatnot, and definitely editing out all the mistakes and whatnot, and just lagginess of everything. So yeah, guys, those are my best movies of the decade per genre. And so yeah, I will be. I'm gonna take a quick break right now, and we'll get to your chat questions. So see you in a bit. And we're back, everybody. Yeah. Oops, might want to mute that. Yeah. And now we get to the segment of the show where we talk about your chat questions and whatnot. Here we go. Nick SpongeBob Personal says, is all working? I think it's working. Granted, I had to Granted, I had to downscale the quality because apparently the internet's kind of shitty today. But I mostly got it. I mostly got it all today. So yeah. Next, I've seen the first Percy Jackson, and I've seen parts of the Sea of Monsters. I haven't seen it. Again, I have not seen Sea of Monsters. It'll probably be on Disney Plus at some point, probably, especially to coincide with the TV series. Oh. The New Mutants, the most delayed movie I've ever heard of. Damn right. Again, it's been delayed 5 times. Like, come on. It's just like the worst. Like, this movie has like the worst luck I've ever seen in my life. Maybe it'll be great. Maybe it'll be great. Remember, Toy Story 2 was originally a straight-to-DVD, but Disney thought it was so good that it should go to theaters. That is true. Although with again, I don't know. I don't know how. I'm hoping New Mutants is good. Pretty sure it's not gonna be Toy Story 2 good, but I'm still hoping it'll be good. I love the trailer. New Mutants looked like it's gonna be such a different kind of comic book movie. Pokesaurus says, hello. Remember the joke from iCarly, I go to Japan? There's a joke that Japan's soap looks like candy. Yeah. This isn't soap. It wasn't soap. It is candy. But, yeah, it was just a really weird tasting candy. My favorite films of the decade are the 2 Godzilla and 2 Jurassic World films. I could probably, the first Godzilla isn't in my top 10 of the decade, but I do think it's fantastic. All the other ones, I mean, well, towards Godzilla, King of the Monsters. I thought Jurassic World was okay. I thought, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom was just, I thought that one just sucked. I really didn't like it. I gotta do, whenever this lockdown ends, I gotta do an audio commentary on that, with a friend making fun of it. Oh, Christopher Robin and Zootopia. I like Christopher Robin. I think is really underrated. I really love Christopher Robin. I like Zootopia. I don't love it. I feel like at times it was a little bit too on the nose with its messages. A little bit too on the nose at times. But I mean, again, I thought it was really good. Well, no, I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was decent. So let's see. Pokesaur says, why would you eat that? Probably regarding the candy. Because views! I'm greedy for views! I need to make subscribers! I need to have more subscribers on my channel! I need the money! I'm so whorish for that YouTube money! I'm a YouTube thought! Please, I need that money! That's why I did it for the money, bro! The money! I want to hear what that sounds like. Subscribers. I need to have more subscribers on my channel. Yep, that's just as annoying as I was hoping it would be. Yeah, that's why I did. I did it for the views. You always gotta do it for the views, man. You gotta do it for the views. That's some great life advice. Just, oh man. The best movie was Cats, hands down. I'm assuming you're being sarcastic. I've not seen Cats. There's no way Cats could be that bad. There's no way it could be that bad. I'll find out on Monday, though. Is there enough genres to make it 10? Well, as you just saw, it was way more than 10. Again, it's like I said, this wasn't a top 10 list. This was just a best movies in general of each genre. Which I thought was easier than trying to rank them and whatnot. The Irishman was my favorite based on a true story. Or Rocketman. Love The Irishman. I thought Rocketman was pretty good. Probably could have gone more insane with its musical sequences. But I did really like it. Taron Egerton was it Egerton or Edgerton? I don't know. That was really good. He was really good in that movie. And the song, I'm Gonna Love Me Again is fantastic. Godzilla is the master of reboots. I think at this point maybe Spider-Man is. I think, yeah, probably Spider-Man would be, because, like, I thought Amazing Spider-Man was great. I thought Homecoming was pretty good. And I thought Spider-Verse was just the best Spider-Man movie ever. The new Godzilla... The new Godzilla was kind of overrated. I tend to disagree. If anything, I'd probably say it's more underrated, because people are kind of throwing a bit of backlash towards Godzilla now. The first Godzilla now. The 2014 one. Which Godzilla... How was it overrated, and which Godzilla are you talking about? Well, here's the thing. But saying it's overrated or whatnot, it's a completely subjective thing. Look, I don't agree that Godzilla was overrated, but if he feels it's overrated... I mean, that's his opinion. Again, I don't really know how many people are praising Godzilla, though. I mean, yeah, I did get good critical response, but, I don't know, time kind of, people don't look back too fondly on that 2014 Godzilla movie. Spider-Ham is the best Spider-Man. I have no comment. I don't. No wonder Joker went crazy and shot a guy. Dude, don't spoil the movie! God, no, don't. Well, then again, like, in the future, this could be spoiling. You could be spoiling something from any movie. Could be The Dark Knight. Could be Joker. Could be the 1989 Batman. Could be maybe even from the comics. But let's not get into specifics as to what that is, because we don't want to. I don't do spoilers on my channels unless it's like specifically a spoiler thing. So make sure to keep spoilers to yourself, no matter how big the movie is. I like romance movies when it's mostly a kids' movies. I'm pretty sure you don't mean that to sound weird, but saying I like romance movies when it's kids involved is kind of a strange thing to say. I know you didn't mean it that way, but might want to be careful with your wording next time, because like some people might take that the wrong way. I have no faith in faith movies, pun intended. Look, there are some good ones. Like I said, Life of Pi was great. Hacksaw Ridge is great. The Prince of Egypt, I think, is the best religious movie of all time. And you can't say The Prince of Egypt is not a religious movie, because that movie was literally built around the books of religion. I still need to rewatch God's Not Dead 1, and I haven't seen the others. God's Not Dead 1, I think, sucks. God's Not Dead 2, I think, is even worse. God's Not Dead 3 is actually not that bad. Weirdly enough, it's not that bad. Life of Pi was a faith film? Indeed. See, I'm thinking out of the box. Assassin's Creed, I'm joking. I'm pretty sure. I mean, because, like, I showed the poster. There's no way you could confuse that. Remember the Titans is my favorite sports movie. Probably means sports. But that came out in 2000. I haven't seen Remember the Titans. I think it's on Disney Plus. 65 million? How long ago the dinosaur... That... 65 million? That how long ago the dinosaurs die. Must watch. Actually, the dinosaurs... Scientists now think the dinosaurs went extinct 66 million years ago. Not 65. So, haha. Yes, Queen, yes! Man, I look like an idiot. Isn't ugly crying a bad thing? No, it is not. It is okay to cry. It is okay to cry, man. Like, especially when it's a movie. There are many movies I think are just beautiful. In terms of just like just beautiful movies with that have really great stories that do make me cry. It's okay to cry, and yeah. If you guys don't know what ugly crying is, like like when your face really contorts into weird ways from your crying, that's me with the ending of Les Misérables, and me with a few other movies. But no, Nick SpongeBob Personal, ugly crying is not a bad thing. Especially when you're watching movies. Real men cry. Ugh. I know the breadwinner. Okay, cool. 2 wins for The Lion King? Yup. I think a movie should only show up once on the list, but if you don't care, I don't mind. Well, for the most part, I would... Well, here's the thing. For the most part, I'd say yeah, but at the same time, that's why I did, separate, that's why I did separate, comic book movies from action films and fantasy films and sci-fi films, and why I separated fantasy films from animated movies. But I feel like it was worth, like, and I'm not just doing this because I love Lion King. But it's that, like, me talking about, again, those were 2 categories, and The Lion King just so happened to qualify for both. Because not every animated movie is a remake, and not every remake is an animated movie. That's why I was able to slip in there, and there's no disputing that The Lion King was an animated movie, because it is. It just so happened to look real. But if you want to know what my favorite non-Lion King animated movie is, or at least from the decade, it's probably Kubo and the Two Strings. I'll be back. I gotta go for a moment. Alright, cool. Does Stranger Things count? I choose that. No, it doesn't count. It's not a movie, so heh. No, it's a TV show, not a movie, so no, that doesn't count. Does Tomb Raider count for the action movie? Yep, it does. Endgame is my favorite comic book movie. Look, it's high up there for me, too. It really is. It really is. Again, the comic book movie one was really tough, but I probably still would, at least in my opinion, go with The Dark Knight Rises. I've seen most of the original Jungle Book movie. Haven't finished it yet. I don't like the original Jungle Book, so I love the remake. Ready Player One is my favorite sci-fi movie, not counting Star Wars. I think Star Wars would count because it is it is sci-fi, and it's definitely not a comic book movie. So, oh well. I hope is not for money and views. I hope it's not. I hope it's not for money and views. Look, that's not a bad thing. Everyone likes to say, like, oh, you're doing it for the money, that's shitty. Like, no, like, I do want my channel to grow big so I can start making a living off of it. I do want to start doing that. But here's the thing. Just because I want to do this for views and money, doesn't mean I'm not going to try making it as good as I can. Because when I try to make this as good as I can, that will mean that more people will want to watch it. Because, yeah, I could just do it the lazy way and whatnot, and just not putting effort into it. But it's not really, but those don't really get lots of views. I mean, maybe you'll get, like, the occasional, like, accidental hit, but it's not long term. I do want to do this for views and money, but in order for me to do that, I want to make my content as good as possible, because that's going to last longer. I mean, look at Markiplier. Markiplier's been doing this for, like, nearly 10 years, and he's still ranking up views. I mean, he's probably not the richest, he's probably not rich or whatever, but he makes a good living off of it. Or John Campea. John Campea is another good example. These guys put effort into their videos and do things for the audience to enjoy, so that they can make more money. It's sort of like with movies. Everyone wants to say, like, oh, that movie was just a cash grab. Every movie is a cash grab. No movie in Hollywood was ever made without the intention of making money. You don't put up, like, millions of dollars worth of movie budgets and not expect to make that return on investment back, and then some. That's not how it works. You want to make money, but at the same time, studios do try to make their movies as good as they can so that they can make more money. Because if the audience is enjoying a movie, then they're going to want to come see it again maybe with even friends. So yeah, I do want to do this for views and money, but don't worry. I do want to make this as good as I can. I do want to make this as entertaining as I can. Because, I mean, again, the more people who are enjoying my content, the more it'll, last in the long run. Hello, I'm back. Godzilla King of the Monsters made me cry, in a good way. I didn't. I don't hate. I don't think Godzilla King of the Monsters was that bad. I thought it was more meh. But, You want to sell your channel to be bigger? OMG sellout and other words I use without knowing what they mean. Yes. Oh no, I've been exposed. I've been fucking exposed! Help me! I need my views! Click that like fucking, smash that subscribe button! Smash that like button! Smash that bell! Smash everything! We need this channel to grow! We need the girth of this channel to grow, people! Share this video! Share it! Ow! Oh, God! Ow! Share the channel! Fucking share it! Oh! Share the video to your friends, your Twitter! Patreon! Go to my Patreon! Go to my Stream Elements! Stream! Do everything! Do all the funny, crazy things that make my channel grow! Yes! Oh, God. I think I probably scared my roommate or something. With that yelling and slamming. Exactly, people. Fucking smash that sub button. Smash it. If you don't smash this button in the next 3 seconds, or that share button, I'm gonna go fucking crazy! I'm gonna go fucking nuts if you don't! So how'd you do it? I just want you to... I just need my views. Give me the fucking views. Share the video. Share it. Share it. Fucking share it. I need the views. I need the money. The economy has gone to shit. God damn. I'm going nuts here, people. I'm actually going nuts here. Share the video. Share it. Share it. Share it. God, that was... You're awful, Murray. You wouldn't smash that sub button. Wait, where? Wait, it's not showing. Ah, damn it. It's not showing. Oh well. Oh wait. Uh. Wait. Hold on. Oopsies. Okay, let's try this. Okay, anyways, you're awful, Murray. You didn't smash that sub button. Oh god, that's funny. That's actually pretty funny. At least Murray shared his video. See? See? Share the video, people. Share it. Should they remake movies that already... Should Disney remake movies that already live action? You probably meant that are already live action. Depends on the movie. Like, I don't, like what? Huh. I'd like to see a new Hocus Pocus. Like a different version of Hocus Pocus. Granted, it's going to be getting a sequel on Disney Plus, but you know. But I wouldn't mind seeing a remake of Hocus Pocus. But yeah, that would be pretty cool. I wouldn't, like, it depends on the movie, I guess. Some movies I think could be really cool remade as more live action movies, and some people probably, some movies probably should just be buried. Again, I think it really depends on the movie. I guess it really depends on the movie and whatnot. But I'd be open to it. Now, what I wouldn't be that much open to, at least up to an extent, would be like remaking animated movies as more animated movies. Lion King is an exception because they made it look live action. So that's different. There's at least some major visual changes to it, or like what they're going to do with Bambi. What they're going to do with Bambi is sort of like how they did with like Lion King. It's a photorealistic animated movie. I'm fine with those. But it's just I don't know. But if they did like who knows? I'd like to see a new Lion King. Ooh! Is that a joke about how, like, everyone tries to tell me that the Lion King's live action? Ah. Ooh. But yeah. Remaking... Like, for example, there's like this one Pokemon animated movie on Netflix where pretty much what they did was it's pretty much a remake of Mewtwo Strikes Back or whatever, like whatever that Mewtwo, like Pokemon the first movie, like they sort of remade Pokemon the first movie into just a CGI animated movie, but it doesn't look that much different from the original animated movie. So I'm like, I mean, if there's not really much of a visual difference here. At least with Lion King, yeah, that was animated too, but you know, at least it looks real. With the Pokemon Mewtwo remake, it was like that felt pointless. Bambi is gonna look adorable. Ooh. I was thinking of first. Nick SpongeBob Personal was saying. I was thinking of the live action 101 Dalmatians movie. Excuse me. What could you actually? Oh, wait, they are gonna do something like that. What was it called? They actually are gonna do something sort of like that. They are going to be kind of redoing, well, not necessarily redoing 101 Dalmatians in general. Ah, damn it, that was a web BB. videos. Okay, gotta put that into videos. I gotta. You're gonna like this, Nick SpongeBob. Wait, what's it, Nick SpongeBob Personal? Yeah, Nick SpongeBob Personal. You're gonna really like this, because actually, they are gonna be doing another live action 101 Well, it's not necessarily going to be 101 Dalmatians, but it's a movie. They're going to be doing a live action movie based around Cruella de Vil, and it's set in the 80s, and she's going to be played by Emma Stone. It's going to be like a punk rock kind of looking film. I'm really excited to see this, especially since it's Emma Stone. I love Emma Stone, but yeah, they actually are going to be doing a kind of 101 Dalmatians movie. Bambi is going to look adorable. Yeah, I do think so. Like, it's a deer. It's a deer. It's a baby deer. They're gonna look great. Bambi's gonna look adorable. So, yeah. Now, I don't know if like, I don't know if, like, we'll have to see where these Disney remakes go, because, like, now the question is that JonTron on the motorcycle? No, it's not really JonTron. Yeah, it's not JonTron. But, I mean, what, or are you saying that because he's fat? Huh? You gotta... Ooh. You got a stigma against fat people? Huh? Is that it? Is that it? Pokesaurus? Is that it? You got... Wait, do you... Do you have a stigma against fat people? I can't believe you. Oh! I can't believe you. I'm so hurt. I'm so hurt. You better have subscribed. You better have shared the video and gave the video a like, and... God damn it, I hope you did. I knew you knew it wasn't JonTron. I knew you knew it wasn't JonTron. I knew you knew it wasn't JonTron. I was trying to be funny and whatnot. Looks like that failed. Anyways, you have a stigma against beards? Well, guess what, Chief? This is coming back. I only shaved it so I can have it grow in evenly, even though it's not growing in evenly. It's just a pointless endeavor. Oh well, oops. But guess what? This facial hair is coming back. I really shouldn't have shaved. It really makes me look like a fat ass. It really does make me look fat. Yeah. Any further questions? Does anybody have further questions before I sign off? Does anybody have final questions? I know Nick SpongeBob Personal's done, but does anybody have any other questions? Let's see. Boopy doop boop 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 boop. Yeah, there's a bit of a delay. There is a bit of a delay in terms of it does take a while for the video stream to catch you, so yeah. Do you have a favorite dinosaur film that's not from the Jurassic Park films? Oh, that's tough. Because most dinosaur movies honestly suck. Ugh. That's kind of tough. Again, like, yeah, most dinosaur movies kind of suck. Uh, uh, can it be movies with dinosaurs in it? Because maybe Night at the Museum? Does that count? It has a dinosaur in it. Yeah? Does it count? Does it count? Does it have a little dinosaur in it? Does it count? Does it count? Oh god, my throat. Ugh. I haven't seen the original Land Before Time. I haven't seen that. I've not seen that. Although it is on HBO. Although I got a lot of other stuff. No, I probably would say most dinosaur movies are bad. Like there's just not a lot of good ones. Like let me look here. Yeah, let me look at dinosaur movies. Okay, we're looking at the ones that aren't part of the Jurassic World or Jurassic Park franchise. The Good Dinosaur, never saw that. Walking with Dinosaurs, the movie, awful. Ice Age Dawn of the Dinosaurs, have not seen that in years. Land of the Lost, everyone hated Land of the Lost, but I thought it was actually pretty good. King Kong, the Peter Jackson King Kong, I have not seen that in years either, so I can't say. We're Back, a Dinosaur Story, never saw it. Disney's Dinosaur, never saw it. The Valley of Gwangi, never saw that. Journey to the Center of the Earth, is Journey to the Center of the Earth a dinosaur movie? I mean, yeah, it has dinosaurs in it. But is Journey to the Center of the Earth, like the 2008 one with Brendan Fraser, is that a dinosaur movie? Whew, yeah, there's not a lot of notable dinosaur movies. Ooh, there is this one. Granted, I don't think this is a good movie at all, but there is this one really crazy movie out there called. Hold on, let me pull it up here. Hold on, let me pull it up here. There is this one dinosaur movie out there that is like said to be like hilariously bad. It's called let me find a picture of it here. It's called Tammy and the T-Rex, where Paul Walker pretty much turns into like a dinosaur and whatnot. And the reason why I know this movie is because it's because this one channel I love called Double Toasted reviewed this movie. Watch the review of Double Toasted's review of Tammy and the T-Rex, and oh my god, this review is so funny. And wait till you see one of the guys on on Double Toasted named his name is Billy. You'll know who Billy is because oh my god, he just wait till he laughs. Like look that up. Anyways, I know what you're thinking. Walking with Dinosaurs. Are you talking like? I love the Walking with Dinosaurs TV series. Like I love actually wait no I have the things right here. If you're talking about this Walking with Dinosaurs, yeah, I love this, but it's not the movie. The movie is This one. This one is what I'm talking about. This one I think is just awful. It this like granted the visual effects are better than the original. In fact, I should probably do a review of this at some point. But yeah, I'm not talking about the Walking with Dinosaurs series. I'm talking about the movie. The movie I thought was awful. Let's see. Oh yeah. You can pick a movie yes, you can pick a movie that just have dinosaurs like Land of the Lost. Okay, then maybe the best dinosaur movie that's not the Jurassic Park movies, I'd probably say in my opinion is Night at the Museum. Maybe, I don't know. Dinosaur films kind of suffer from the same thing as shark films. Yeah, where it's like they try and make the dinosaur, they focus too much on dinosaur stuff, even though they don't have good human characters or smart human characters. Hell, the reason why Jurassic Park is my favorite movie of all time is not even because of the dinosaurs. Jurassic Park is my favorite movie of all time because the human characters are such interesting characters and entertaining characters. Oh man. Okay, so you were talking about the movie. Oh man, I wish I could love that movie, but I thought it was terrible. I thought that the lead dinosaur character literally gets shit on by a bigger dinosaur. Whee! It's like, oh god, I hate that movie. During the actually only had one dinosaur that shows up at the end of the film. I think it's a good movie, but the dinosaurs are far from the focus. But you said I could pick a movie that just has dinosaurs. Like, it has a dinosaur in it. Like, ooh. But fun fact, since Disney now owns Fox, now Disney owns Walking with Dinosaurs. I'm not saying they will, but if Disney wanted to reboot Walking with Dinosaurs, then actually, yeah. If Disney wanted to reboot, now granted, I don't know if they have the rights to do that. I know Fox had the distribution rights to the movie, to that movie, but I don't know if that extends to other movies as well. But I'm willing to bet you this. I'm willing to bet Disney would not interfere with what they were working with. I'm willing to bet Disney would actually let this be like a documentary. So yeah. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Yeah, if you like Walking with Dinosaurs, the movie, that's fine. I don't. I really don't. It was definitely one of the biggest disappointments of my life. But hey, all to each their own. But yeah, but I'm serious. If you could reboot Walking with Dinosaurs, that would be so cool because you could well, for one, technology-wise, you could easily reboot Walking with Dinosaurs. Because like I said, if there's one thing that I thought the original show kind of suffered from, it's the visual effects didn't age well. They're not that good anymore. So you could definitely improve on visual effects, and that's one thing I will give the movie. The movie definitely had better visual effects than the TV show. Also, what was it like? The information, like the dinosaur facts and whatnot, are kind of outdated. So you could, reboot that. Like you could use the new information to give us new information about dinosaurs, which would be really cool. Oh, I mean, look, if it has dinosaurs in it, I don't know. Let's just say it's like dinosaur movies. I don't know. Again, there's just I personally don't think there's a lot of good dinosaur movies. There needs to be, although I think when it comes to movies and dinosaurs, the one that everyone kind of goes towards is Jurassic Park, and it's like, well, shit, you can't really do any more you can't really do dinosaur movies like that because everyone's just gonna automatically associate that with Jurassic Park, which is kind of a shame. So yeah. Whew. Yeah, I would agree that Jurassic Park is the status quo of dinosaur films. So, yeah. Does anyone have any other questions? Yeah? What do you think of Land of the... If you're talking about the Will Ferrell Land of the Lost, it's not... I don't know how, like... I do remember liking it. I do remember thinking it was good. Although, like, granted, everyone else fucking hated that movie. But I really enjoyed it. Granted, I have not seen that movie in a long time. But, I didn't think it was that bad. Although I do remember it had Matt Lauer in it, and, Matt Lauer, that doesn't age well. That's kind of awkward now, considering the allegations against him. Yeah, that's oops. It's like when you watch a movie or a show with Bill Cosby, and you're like, man, this was great, and then you look back on it, it's like, oh no, oh, I don't know what to think of this now, because oh no, this oh. Granted, I think the Bill Cosby situation might be much worse than Matt Lauer, because, like, considering there's actually evidence against... There is lots of evidence against Bill Cosby, and, well, he was actually convicted. But it's like... Chaka. Yeah, that was, Yep, that's definitely the Will Ferrell one. So, yeah, I don't get why everyone hated that movie. I mean, everyone has their opinions and whatnot, but, yeah, everyone hated that movie. All right. If that's all you, if that's it for. Oh, also, I forgot to mention this, everybody. It's not movie related, but if you know Epic Games, do you know the thing Epic Games where you can get like Fortnite and whatnot for 1 week only? Uh, this started as of yesterday. But on Epic Games, if you have Epic Games, it's you can download that for free on your computer. But it's a game launcher. On Epic Games, like they have like a new free game every week that's only going to be around for 1 week and that's not free anymore. On Epic Games, this week's free game is apparently Grand Theft Auto 5, GTA 5. If you like Grand Theft Auto, get that shit. Get it. I think it's like one of the best games of the decade in my opinion. I don't play that many games, but I do love Grand Theft Auto 5. So, yeah, if you guys want to check out, like, if you guys like video games, if you have Epic Games on your computer, which again, you don't have to buy Epic Games. It's free. Like I said, it's where you can play Fortnite on. But on Epic Games, this week's free title is Grand Theft Auto 5. Get it, and because it's only going to be available for 1 week. And once you do get it, it's yours forever and whatnot, as long as Epic Games is still around. So, yeah, just want to let you guys know that. so that in case you want to get GTA 5, uh, I do want to try to get a USB Xbox controller so I can play with a controller, because that's the best I can do with those kind of games. And hey, I might try to do some videos on that. Who knows? Would you like to see some Grand Theft Auto 5 gameplay videos? Who knows? But yeah, guys, like I said, before I sign off here, thank you very much for watching the Hannahcast. This episode of the Hannahcast. It's been like, granted, it started off kind of, not good, but I think we're at a good place now. We're doing well now with the stream. Anyways, yeah, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button so you can be part of the Christian Reviews gang. Also, give this video a like. Like this video. Give this video a thumbs up, because that's good for the the algorithm, like interacting with the channel and whatnot. Also, hit that bell icon so you can be notified of future videos and live streams and whatnot. You can actually have notifications sent to your phone. Also, we need to hit 1,000 subscribers. We've already crushed 515 subscribers. Let's see if we can get to 1,000. Can we get to 1,000? Can we actually get monetized? I hope so, because I want to get super chats from you guys, because I want money. I want that greedy money for my body. Ooh, OnlyFans. Anyways, guys, if you want to also support me, we have Patreon. Go to patreon.com/ChristianTylerHannah, where for $2 you can get your name in the beginning of my videos. For $5 a month, you can have your name in the beginning of my videos. The Hannahcast audio-only version, and the Hannahcast after show, where I talk about random shit with a friend. So yeah, guys, please check out patreon.com/ChristianTylerHannah. I need the Patreon supporters. Also, if you can't do that, then go to streamelons.com/ChristianReviews/tip. You can still, it's pretty much sort of like a super chat, except you can only do it with physical money and whatnot. The minimum is $2. Yeah, guys, consider supporting me through streamelements.com/ChristianReviews/tip. And also, if you want to check out my Letterboxd, go to letterboxd.com/ChristianHannah, where you can get movie ratings, top 10 lists, and movies I've watched, and I'll probably adapt some of those top 10 lists into videos. And keep in mind, guys, that if I have a top 10 list on this channel, it may not be up to date, and I'm always making sure my lists on Letterboxd are up to date. So yeah, guys, I'm always making sure those lists on Letterboxd are up to date. Thank you guys so much for watching the Hannahcast. Thank you so much for watching the Hannahcast. So yeah, guys, do all those things I just said, and I'll see you next time, guys. Bye.